We face unprecedented ecological collapse. I think that means that we no longer have environmental issues or social justice issues or poverty issues. I think it means that they've all come together now, and we need to figure out how to better organize ourselves.
What's so cool has been watching this space and the community and the conversations evolve over the years. This year, what really stood out is I'd say a critical mass of networked models that are proving viable models for social change.
We may be at a point where we can start talking about this as a new approach to politics.
You know, one of the big themes of this conference has been looking at the opposition to the Enbridge pipeline here in BC. So it's important to grow opposition, but what we're struggling with is that it's necessary, but it's inadequate.
I'll be really excited to see how Occupy and other kinds of social movements like that around the world can pivot and move from being a protest movement that really is just saying this whole system is garbage and we have to throw it out, to understanding that they have to build something and create power and exercise that power and transform the world with it.
We're still struggling to figure out what that looks like. We've been really good at mobilizing people power and helping people work together to stop things that they don't like. Now we need to figure out how to do that and at the same time help our communities mobilize and engage to build consensus.
One of the things that has happened this year that I've found really amazing is the failure and winning talks.
I think one of the big things we're wrestling with is how can we as organizers, as tech providers, how can we make sure that progressives really have the tools they need to win?
And I feel like that's a really great discussion to have. Why aren't we winning? What are we winning? What does winning even mean? And then on the other side, what is failure?
And so I really would say that I had the privilege and daunting opportunity to speak in front of 116 participants at WebofChange about some of my most epic failures.
Oftentimes we hide those and we don't talk about them and we're embarrassed and ashamed of them, and yet those are sometimes the things where the most deep learning can happen.
I think it was transformational and life-changing to be able to be so honest, and I feel open to personally grow in a way that I haven't in a long time.
I spoke a little this morning about diversity, and I think that that's probably the biggest thing that I'm dealing with.
I think that the bigger problem is the fact that the mainstream environmental movement fails to see the work that communities of color do.
It's probably, I think, one of the biggest challenges of our time is the progressive movement is to figure out, I think it's bigger than a lot of the problems that we're dealing with, is to figure out how to diversify our space and how to be more inclusive.
I am a first-generation American, and I represent a generation of immigrants who live with their feet in two worlds. As a member of a diaspora community, how do we leverage the power of diaspora in North America to really leverage change in our home countries?
When there are so many issues that are pressing, from pipelines being, built all across North America, and climate change, and, so many other issues. How do we organize ourselves best to kind of aggregate all of these decentralized, geographically spread organizations and make us bigger than the sum of our parts, but at the same time maintain a flexibility to respond to a changing environment? And so at WebofChange, we've been wrestling with these questions at a really deep level.
WebofChange is a place where you come to find your courage. And if you're going to do courageous things in life, if you're going to really change the world, you need a community like this to support you, because we can't do it alone.